Hey everyone, this is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, bringing your life in alignment with you. I am here this week for your weekly guidance reading. So, continuing back into my readings and going to be doing some new content as well of doing live readings of just like daily card pulls, different things like that. And I'm still available for privates as well. And I can do video calls or phone calls. And I'm just working off a donation base right now. Or if you see any of my videos and you felt really inspired, I will also include links to tip where you can via PayPal, Venmo, or Google Pay. Anything if you feel inspired to do that, as I am currently out of all of my jobs for the most part. So I'm doing a lot of my independent work. So if you can support in any way, it's appreciated, but I'm also here to support you. So thank you for everyone who is watching and reading my stuff. So, I got a new deck this week, but I am using it for more like herbal medicine. So I really liked adding kind of like plant medicine to my readings. So I'll be using the Spirit Song Tarot as our tarot cards. We'll have an animal message, crystal guidance, the herbs, how we can stay in our light, and offerings to the divine. Okay, so whenever you're watching this, this is for the week of March 30th through April 5th. Whenever you happen upon this, though, it is exactly meant for you. This could be something that is already manifesting or is coming into your field in the near future. So, grounding into the reading, taking a deep breath, being fully present so that any of your own intuition can come forward and reveal its own messages to you. I love when this happens. I was already having this card come up for me over the last couple days. So, our first card we have is the Chariot, or Rhino Spirit, discipline and determination. So, the Chariot is all about continuing forward movement, persevering onwards, just keeping the forward direction going. And with it being the rhino, and with it being so many vines and everything, I feel like this is kind of what we're feeling through this whole situation is we're wanting to push really far forward, but it's kind of just trudging along, and there seems to be a lot of brambles in the way. So we're just kind of like, do I keep going? Is this a sort of resistance that the universe doesn't want me to push past? But it's still movement. It's still going forward. It may not be at the pace that we necessarily like, but just focusing on what direction you are going, how do you want to keep moving forward in this whole situation and not getting caught up in all of these thorns. So keeping your eye on the horizon and how you want to keep your trajectory going, how you want to keep your energy going and not get, even though we're all isolated and not really, at least where I'm at, we're not really allowed to go out and do much. They're, wanting us on full quarantine. So how are we still wanting to keep the energy going? How are we still wanting to keep ourselves from getting stagnant? Okay. So the second card we have is the Queen of Acorns, or Deer Spirit, in the reverse, passion or creativity. So this is also the Queen of Wands, or the fire. So this, usually represents someone who's very passionate and fiery and outgoing. And so with this in the reverse, I see this as really working on that self-confidence, that inner fire. Wanting to, you're feeling that pull of just like wanting to not necessarily give up, but just a lot of uncertainty about what to do in this situation for ourselves. Like everything we thought that we were going to be doing or how we were contributing our energy is now kind of being questioned. And so our sense of self is being really kind of shifted into this new dynamic of who are we really, what are we really passionate about. And so making sure not to lose that fire, like what still sets you on fire, what still makes you feel good. And spending some time on like self-love and creativity, keeping that fire energy going. So I love seeing all these videos of people creating things, creating art, um, uh, still continuing to do their work, painting, enjoying each other's company, yoga, all of these things. So keep finding your creative fire, your creative passions, and keep sharing it. We're still connected in a lot of ways. So don't be afraid to really put that energy out there and keep persevering. Like don't give up and fall into this kind of self-pity or letting your fire kind of dim out, because this is meant to kind of give us that rest period to actually expand and explode our energy outwards. Okay. So coming into our last tarot card, we have the 10 of Shells, or Pelican spirit. Blessings and well-being in the reverse. So the 10s are usually a sign of ending, and this also has to do with the 10 of Cups. And so you can see there's like this collection of shells, having everything in order, everything's kind of been attained. But in the reverse, I feel like this is calling for a chance of being grateful for what we do have, instead of looking at a place of lack, or seeing this whole situation as like a curse, as something that is taking away from us and not adding to our emotional support. We want to be looking at this as a chance, an opportunity to feel more complete in ourselves, not so much in the external world, but to really deal with like our emotions that are coming up. Spending so much time in isolation around people in your life that normally you're going through your daily routines, you're not spending that much time together. It's bringing up a lot of stuff for us personally, as well as like interacting with each other that we maybe haven't processed yet. So looking at it as, how is this contributing to my well-being, instead of how is this taking away from me. So counting your blessings that you do have around you, and working through that emotional balance, like finding that completion for yourself, and maybe realizing just how complete you really are as a whole person, even without these external things, finding your own like sense of balance. All right, so moving into our animal guides for the week. We have 2. So the first one we have is our Groundhog spirit in protection. Time to let go. So there is something that I see with these reversals that is not being properly released. Something that we're holding on to a bit too tightly. An idea, maybe these emotions, like an idea of lack, and an idea of like losing our personal power, because this is a really strong like feminine energy, like personal power being taken away. So it's time to kind of just release, like let go of that idea. Like, how tightly are you clinging to what's causing you more pain? Because letting go is not, it doesn't always have to be bad. I mean, it never really is bad. It might feel kind of hurtful at the time, but it's also a form of protection and not allowing yourself to experience fully. So, with this being one of our protection totems, meaning they just want us to learn this lesson in the gentlest way possible. Reassure yourself of your, again, like your blessings that you do have. Don't think that whatever this is that you may be letting go of, whether it's old ideas or people or jobs that you thought you were in alignment with, that you aren't going to be a complete person. Like you're going to be lacking because of it. But instead, look at it as you are persevering on this new trail for yourself. You are learning to self-love. You are learning to self-regulate. So don't look at it as a lack. Okay. And so for our second animal totem, we have the turkey spirit in protection. Give with gratitude and grace. So this could be asking you to be also more giving in this situation. We're being asked to really help contribute to each other. And if you are giving something with kind of a resentment, like you're kind of guarding these treasures so much and you are not actually giving from the heart, you're not giving from a passionate place, you're just kind of trying to be manipulative, that could be maybe speaking to some of you, maybe trying to manipulate someone or feeling manipulated yourself. And so you're just really wanting to kind of be more protected and not give this stuff away. But when we're not actually giving from a place of actually wanting to give, it's not benefiting us. It's just more of that kind of clinging on to this, like, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to let this go. So find that place where you kind of check in to see, why am I trying to control this situation so much? Because this can also be a kind of controlling energy, power assertion. So who or what are you trying to control, and why are you not being more giving and generous of yourself? What are you trying to protect and keep from moving forward? All right, so we have, for our crystal energy, we have kunzite, or heart activation. So yeah, really coming into that heart space again, really being self-loving. The pink ray is really like a lot of self-love, but it's also, when it's unconditional love, it's that giving, it's that opening without fear. You can see the groundhog here is actually holding a little heart and trying to protect it, keep it guarded. So just let your heart be more open. Don't be afraid to be more giving. I know it can seem like we're really on edge, like things could potentially, really be taken from us. And so we're not being very giving sometimes. We can all fall into this pattern. So you don't have to be giving of everything. There's still the boundaries that you want to have. But how can you, what can you give in your heart today? How can you move from your heart today and this week? It doesn't always have to be perfect. It's always a learning process, but just checking in with yourself every day and saying, is this somewhere moving from a place of love, or is this moving from a sense of lack? And am I just trying to gain and manipulate something out of this? Okay. So moving into some herbal medicine this week, we have the 5 of Fire, or Black Cohosh. I've been working with this medicine a lot recently. I just got a tincture of this This is actually really good for hormones, imbalances in women especially. So the Five of Fire or the Five of Wands has to do with kind of like scattered energy and like disagreements. So if you're feeling really like scattered and all over the place, like you're not certain where to like direct your energy, or you're feeling like everything is kind of against you and fighting all of this kind of resistance. Working with plants that are really calming, more balancing. The black cohosh tincture is really nice. It doesn't necessarily have to be just for hormones. It's also, I have read, good for depression and anxiety, as well as menopause and any like big like shifts or challenges that come up. So if you feel that start to arise, it's a really good medicine to bring you down. So for our second herb, we have the Three of Fire, lots of fire energy. We have Calendula. So Calendula, you've probably heard of, is used in a lot of muscle rubs and things like that. It's very good for just sore muscles, and is a good like base for just like reducing inflammation. I even have it in my daughter's like diaper rash cream. So they're really common like flowers too. I don't know if we have them in Montana. But so the Three of Fire also has to kind of do with looking at the bigger picture, and allowing space for healing, allowing space again for, I think, this kind of heart activation, and not being so nervous because you're able to see the bigger thing of what's going on. So I feel like this is saying to kind of step back a little bit and look at how everything is playing out for you. Again, changing that perspective, taking a breath and turning inwards. Lots of, like I said, lots of fire energy. So we're really being called to kind of dig a little deeper and put that fiery part of ourselves out there, not letting it be squelched or put out from this whole situation. Okay. All right. So getting into some of our last cards, we have for our Keepers of the Light, or sorry, not Keepers of the Light, Work Your Light. Basically like how we stay connected with our higher selves and how can we implement something good. So this one is Keepers of the Earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand behind you. So again, that feeling of like not having enough, of, you know, trying to control everything because we are feeling not supported. We feel like we're just going off on our own and just persevering on our own. Just knowing that you have like ancestral ties that you can call upon, whether you believe in like guardian angels or not, with your parents or your lineages. Like each one went through their own struggles in their lifetime, and so you can kind of call on that energy and that guidance to help you see that bigger picture again, how to take a step back and say, how is this contributing to the whole good instead of stealing from us. And this is a much more like empowered sense to look at things. And I feel like with the mixture of all these animals on here, all of this wisdom, there is all of this wisdom to call upon, even though this is a new experience for a lot of us. It's also not something that we can't handle. It's not something that we can't turn into an empowering situation, is how I really look at it. Okay. So, and then I have 3 cards for our, what kind of offerings can we give to the collective. Like, how can we be like more a part of all of this and give offerings? So the first card we have is service. You stop using the universe to try to get what you want and start asking love to use you. You offer all and want to be of service. Ironically, many desires become fulfilled without grasping or manipulation. So how are you going to be of service to love? How are you going to work from a heart space in giving with grace? How are you going to, even though you think you may not be enough, what ways can you be of service? I see a lot of people, helping others with groceries or trading food, helping those find what they're lacking, or even just what I'm doing, like doing my card readings, doing my yoga classes and meditations. How can you contribute and still be of service to the collective? Because that's what it really comes down to. We're just taking care of each other, and so we have to keep doing our work. So the second card we have is Sanctuary. A sanctuary resides inside you no matter what is happening. This inner temple beckons you to enter. Take a deep breath, enter, and sit down on the throne of your own heart. So finding your sanctuary within yourself, being sanctuary for other people if you feel like others are struggling or you see them freaking out, like don't be afraid to like reach out and check in with people, make sure we're all being okay, and also check in with your own like inner sanctuary, your inner fire. Again, that counting our blessings, what we do have. We are always able to just kind of tune in. I think this is really calling to make sure you check in with yourself every day and take a step back from the mind and its chatter and reassuring yourself that you are in a safe place at this moment. And there is this outside guidance working with you and you're not alone in that sense. So you can always go in and just find your happy place is a good meditation. So just visualizing like somewhere where you feel calm and safe, and that will shift the brain waves to, help you stay more grounded in the present moment. Okay. And our last card is gratitude. Find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm like the warmth of the sun. So again, like I said, with having gratitude for what you do have, having gratitude for any situations, for your growth, gratitude to be connecting more with your friends and your family. Even if we're not close together physically, we're feeling this sense of like, wow, I really actually like miss these people a lot, and I'm going to give them like a huge hug when I do see them. I miss my friends terribly. I just live with a 2-year-old, so not a lot of adult conversation. So I'll be really excited when I can see all my friends again and be more connected and feel that really sense of like, wow, I really actually had a lot going on here, and I'm so grateful to be having it again. Oh man, these readings are definitely a lot to take in over the last couple weeks, and this whole situation is, and we're all collectively throughout the world going through it. Strangers, friends, family, everybody's handling it in a different way. And so I just hope that you're able, if you are not feeling calm or grounded, that you are able to find that sense of peace and sanctuary and not give up, and just keep being reassured that things are going to get better and it's not always going to stay this way. And that equal give and take of contributing to each other if we're in need of anything. So I'm always available for like my services and different things like that. And, even just connecting and talking. If you feel like that's something you need, feel free to reach out. So, yeah, I think that is your reading. I will be doing my live little one card readings on my Instagram. If you haven't followed me on there, it is Catalyst Holistic Arts. And I'll probably be sharing on Facebook as well. They'll just be on my stories because they'll just be like one little card pulls every day. So, yeah, and I also will be doing virtual yoga classes this week. I'm going to try to film a couple meditations that I'm just going to have on my YouTube channel as well to give to you guys so you have something to ground with. So, if there's any content you would like to see or anything that you feel like would be beneficial that you would like me to do more of, I am happy to contribute that, and I will include links below if you feel guided to tip or donate, anything like that. You can do so if you please. So thanks again. Have a great week. Stay grounded and grateful. I'm grateful today for sunshine, beautiful sunshine, and opening my windows and there not being snow. So even just the little things, what little things you can find every day, and then moving from that heart space. Just remember, you are love. We're all love, and we're all gonna come out of this together and stronger. This is for our benefit. So sending all my love to you guys. I really miss you so much. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.